It's that time again. Part 2. Barack Obama speech. Are you excited? I can tell you though, I'm a little right now because I was just having conversations with people. I was called a racist again and an effing racist and a bunch of other crap. And then I just had some woman, teacher, educator, who I've talked about before in some of my other videos. It's all about hating law enforcement. It's all about the white cops. It's all about the white cops killing the blacks. It makes me just want to like shake them. You know what? Because statistics do not lie. How many people in positions of law enforcement, or not even law enforcement, some general guy and this guy who does run statistics and whatever is telling them it's not true. The numbers are not true. You're protesting something that is false. It is not happening how you think it's happening. It is the black people killing the black people in the areas that they're in. That is the problem. Anytime anybody tries to say that, you're a racist. You don't give a shit about them. You don't care. You white racist. God, it just makes my blood boil. I sat and watched a video today, and I probably should get a little copy of it so you guys could see it. There's this guy who owns a farm in Arizona, and he has a hidden camera, and he let the Department of Defense or whatever tie into his hidden camera for live shots. It showed man after man after man. It just kept coming, illegals crossing into this country, one after the other, carrying these huge packs of stuff on their backs. You think it's not drugs? And I asked this woman who's sitting here trying to make me feel like crap for trying to explain to her that, stop with the racism. This is insanity. You can't be against law enforcement. This Black Lives Matter and everything's racist, and God, it's just a crazy. I mean, I don't think people really understand how deep rooted this is within the Democrats. It's like it's festered in them. I don't know how, and I'm watching this video with my jaw on the floor, and there's no women, there's no children. They were all men, one after the other, after the other, after the other, all of them, every single one of them, not a child in sight, no woman in sight, no ripping children from their, and I told her, I said, when somebody ends up dead, or a child is trafficked, or someone dies of an overdose or whatever, remember this day. Because we're trying to tell you this is real. I mean, how much more real or facts do they need than a video showing them live? It was live of all these men, illegal immigrants, passing into the country, carrying all this stuff with them. It's not rocket science, people. It's real. It's, I don't know. They just they can't let it go. They can't let it go. They have to ostracize, and they have to shame, and they have to divide, and they have to keep black people victims. And, the black people need the Democrat government to take care of them. And because they're so stupid, they can't take care of themselves. It's ridiculous, okay? It just really made me upset. Anyway. Deep breath. Okay. Obama. All right. Here we go. So he's still talking to these kids, right? And he's at this college. And the next thing he does is he brings up like 9/11 and the fact that all these kids, they probably don't remember stuff that happened. They wouldn't know how it was before 9/11. And that's true. And then he talks about having to take your shoes off at the airport, and all the technology we have now on our phones, and, social stuff going on. And he brought up something that was really dumb. I don't know how. In the same sentence, he talks about religious commitments and civil institutions. What does that mean? Like after 9/11, there was religious commitments and civic institutions. Is he talking about like be more accepting of Muslim people or something, because I really don't know what that has anything to do with that. Does it? I don't know. What do you guys think? Religious commitments and civic institutions, in the same sentences where he's talking about how things went so fast and how things are different since 9/11, but they wouldn't know that, being the age that they are. You know, I know my daughter's in college and she was very little when that happened, so she doesn't remember that. All she's ever known is when we go to the airport, we got to get in an airplane, we have to take off our shoes and we have to go through the thingy that goes around and put your hands, you know, yeah. And she's got her phone and I don't know. And then he said, because of all that, because of that going on and how fast things happened after 9/11, it created a new economy that has unleashed incredible prosperity because of everything moving so fast. And here was my thought. When he said that, the first thing that came to my mind was Venezuela, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, what's going on in Europe. Paris isn't Paris anymore. Merkel in Germany. My friends that I talk to who are in Italy and in the UK, they're not happy. They know what's going on. They're scared about what's going on. The same thing's happening there that's happening here. Over there, it's a lot worse. Their populations are a lot less than ours. Their countries are smaller than ours. You know, just think about that for a minute. Can you imagine? I can't imagine that, because it would be like overwhelmingly obvious, and the crime and everything that's been going on there and all this other garbage all in Paris and everything. It's just really bad. And Canada just showed a video about the Canadians now they passed a law thing in their school board where they're going to teach like Islamic prayer. And the Canadian parents went ballistic. Would you not go ballistic? I would go ballistic. It was all recorded on tape. It's not bull crap. You can find it on my wall on Facebook. I posted it there. Anyway, I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Incredible prosperity. New economy. Incredible. Yeah. All those other countries, they're not doing so well. Why do you think they want to come here? Is it just for us? I mean, Bush was president. I don't know. Did you think that's what you did? Seriously, you didn't. Anyway. Then he talks about, which really, this didn't make any sense at all. He says, it has also upended people's lives in profound ways. So first he's talking about how it created new economy and we got incredible prosperity and all this good stuff. And then the next thing he says in the next paragraph is, it has also upended people's lives in profound ways. For those with unique skills or access to technology and capital, a global market has meant unprecedented wealth. For those not so lucky, for the factory worker, for the office worker, or even the middle managers, those same forces may have wiped out your job, or at least put you in no position to ask for a raise. So basically, it's the same thing the Democrats say all the time. The rich people have all the money and we have none. That's what they're saying. Shame. Whatever. What, they don't have a lot of money? Listen, Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, the crazy lady in Massachusetts, Democrat, she's in the 1% top of this country. Yeah, she's rich. You think they're not? They are. Do you think Barack Obama doesn't have a lot of money? Let me tell you something about Barack Obama really quick. I did a blog about this on my website the other day. He's scheduled for a speech in Denmark that's coming up. And do you know that he threatened to not attend it if they released the information about the speech that he was going to be giving in Denmark? Do you want to know why they think it is? Because they're giving him $100,000 just to come there and talk. Yep, $100,000. That's more than a lot of people make. Do you make that much in 1 year? He's making it in like a couple hours. Come on with your BS of people who have capital and all that kind of crap. And he cares some, you know, they're so condescending. It's just sick. Anyway, he says, as wages slowed and inequality accelerated, of course, we got to put that inequality in there. Those at the top of the economic period have been able to influence government. Who, Hillary? Did she influence people that were around in government? She's Secretary of State. Uranium, Russia, $400 million. Come on. So anyway, they do this to skew things even more in their direction. Of course they did. Democrats did. Now he's talking about this is bad. Cutting taxes on the wealthiest Americans, unwinding regulations, and weakening worker protections, shrinking the safety net. What safety net? What safety net? I don't know. So you have come of age during a time of growing inequality. There's that word again. Keep everybody separated. Divide us. We're not equal. Or fracturing of economic opportunity. And that growing economic divide, keep dividing, compounded other divisions in our country. Regional, racial, religious, cultural. It made it harder to build consensus on issues. It made politicians less willing to compromise, which increased gridlock, which made people even more cynical about politics. Honest to God, what a load of frickin' malarkey. Whatever the, yeah, I said that word earlier, but I won't say it right now, but yeah, whatever the. And then the reckless behavior of financial elites triggered a massive financial crisis 10 years ago this week, a crisis that resulted in the worst recession in any of our lifetimes and caused years of hardship for the American people. For many of your parents, for many of your families, and then blah, 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 blah. He keeps going on and on and on. And then he said, we were entering into a Great Depression. I know when that was. It was in 2008, and the market went, yeah, it did. We all know why. They were giving loans to people shouldn't have had loans and all that kind of crazy crap going on. Yeah. We remember, we were here. Huh. Wasn't our fault. Whose fault was it? Was it yours, Barack Obama? Are you a rich man? I don't know. Anyway. He said, now get this part. He said, he helped to make the longest streak of jobs creation on record. Okay, I want proof of that. I have not seen that. Have you seen that? I've not seen the numbers that show that. I've seen a lot of stuff posted lately. A lot of stuff where they're saying, you know, what Barack Obama is telling you about the economy and how he said it was good. It's a lie and here's why. This is a lie and here's why. I've seen a lot of that stuff. Never seen anything that proves this. Okay. But does he remember like how it was in the 1950s? Like wasn't that I mean, it was after World War II. We had a lot of money. Yeah, our economy was woohoo, and I don't know. People are freaking insane. He's crazy. Well, I hope people don't believe this crap. Anyway, he says also they were so good at everything. All this job creation and job growth. He said they covered over 20 million in healthcare. Yeah, it skyrocketed. I mean, there's people who couldn't even pay for this healthcare after like a year. It went up like 200% and more. I mean, people are starting out paying $300 and then they're paying $900 a year later. The hell, people couldn't afford to even keep it. Then they had no insurance. It's freaking ridiculous. That is the truth. this Obamacare did not work. And then every time you try to talk to a Democrat about that and tell them it sucked, it didn't work. Do you not understand what people are, you know, you can't say, well, here was their excuse. Nobody gave it enough time. And it was the Republicans' fault because they fought at every turn. And they said no to everything. And it was blah, 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 blah. And all Republicans' fault, Republicans' fault, Republicans' fault. Bullshit. This was Obama's thing. This was your Democrat thing. If you didn't have it. And my God, when people went to log in, the whole thing crashed. It was just a total friggin', I mean, come on. We are not stupid. Just stop treating us like we're ignorant. We're really not ignorant. It's condescending as hell. Anyway. And they didn't get to keep the doctor they wanted either. Remember he promised that? Oh, you'll get to keep your own doctor. No, it didn't happen either. They ain't have none. Load of malarkey. And then he said, he claims that by the time he left office, household income was near its all-time high. He says, and I quote, I mention all this so when you hear how great the economy is doing right now, let's just remember when this recovery started. Sorry, there's a lot of information out there that's factual information that refutes that. That's a lie. It was not you. You are not going to get credit for things that Donald Trump is doing for this country right now in this economy. You're not. It's just not happening. There's too much proof out there to refute that. Lie. He keeps going. I'm glad it continued. Yeah, it's continued. He's glad about that. But when you hear about this economic miracle that's going on, when the job numbers are out, monthly job numbers, suddenly Republicans are saying it's a miracle. I have to kind of remind them, actually, those job numbers are the same as they were in 2015 and 2016. Oh, he's just such, how could anybody ever live without him and the $150 billion he gave to the friggin' Iranians? Remember that? I will never forget that. I thought he had gone off his flippin' rocker. Anyway, then he says, I digress. So we made progress, but, and this is the truth. Okay, what, before this wasn't the truth? Or now you're telling us the truth. So before that was a lie, so now you have to say, and this is the truth. My administration couldn't reverse 40 years of trends in only 8 years, especially once Republicans took over the House of Representatives and decided to block everything we did, even things they used to support. So first he says he did wonderfully, and then he says, well, this is the truth though, really. We couldn't fix, you know, something that had been going on for 40 years. And by the way, it was the Republicans' fault because every time we tried, it was their fault. They're the ones who did it. Bullshit. Dude, you're good. I really would, you know, if I can find this recorded, I'm going to look at it. I want to see how his mannerisms were when he was actually saying it. Slick talker. Slick talking, I don't know. He said, we pulled the economy out of the crisis. But to this day, too many people who once felt solidly middle class still feel very real and very personal economic insecurity. Whose fault is that? Is that your fault? Even though we took out bin Laden and wound down the wars in Iraq and our combat role in Afghanistan and got Iran to halt its nuclear program, the world's still full of threats and disorder. Is it really? Is it really? What did you do? Go around all, you know, on a I'm sorry tour and America apologizing for being America? We're so sorry. We're so bad. That's exactly what you did. I remember the I'm sorry, we apologize tour of Obama that'll live in infamy. Anyway, he says, That comes streaming through people's televisions. Yeah, the threats and the disorder. You know why? Because it was like that. You left it like that. He said it comes through every single day. And these challenges get people worried. And it frays your civic trust. And it makes a lot of people feel like the fix is in and the game is rigged. Who do you think rigged shit? Democrats? Do we have to keep saying their names over and over and over again? I mean, do we have to give you like a chart that you can like put on your walls to remember it? Hillary Clinton, Obama, Orr, Strzok, Steele, Page, trying to spy on the Trump administration. Hillary responsible for Bernie Sanders being knocked out as a nominee to be the Democratic nominee. Who they... And on and on and on. Cohen, he goes in there, and then Cohen's lawyer comes in after. First he do you know that that guy Cohen, who they were charging him for that campaign money that Trump was supposedly given to prostitutes or whoever, hush money, I don't know, whatever, he was giving hush money. It was during the campaign, and they were trying to get him for anything, like, oh my god, maybe this is the thing. So Cohen was he basically said he took a plea deal for something that he's really not even going to get in trouble for. It's like something that he's not even going to go to jail for or have any record for or anything. He just said it. And so they automatically are calling this, you know, campaign fraud. And the law is, I'm going to tell you what the law is, that it is the responsibility of the treasurer of the campaign. Any campaign funds that come into a campaign, it is on the campaign treasurer, not the person who's running, right? That's the law. And the person who's running is allowed to give as much money as they want. I mean, he could have given $1 or $5 billion. It wouldn't matter. He's allowed to do that. Donald Trump is allowed to do that. So anyway, even if there was any like collusion thing that they were trying to prove, it's not on him. It's on the treasurer of the campaign. Obama's campaign, they got charged $300,000 in campaign fines for their crap that they were doing during the Obama administration. And then he had Dinesh D'Souza put in jail. The guy who wrote the guy who has the movie out, Death of a Nation, you know, the guy who is telling us, look, they're leading you towards communism. Dinesh D'Souza, yeah, because you're not allowed to give like more than $2,700 to a campaign, and they said he did more, and then, you know, Obama put him in prison for that. Like, it actually was in prison. He was going to leave him there for like years. And Donald Trump pardoned him and let him out. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. And then he made that movie, Death of a Nation. You should really go see it. Anyway, my God. And they're sitting here trying to talk about all this rigging stuff. It's insane, really. You know, it's like they think that we don't have a brain and we can't see what these people are doing. We don't know what's going on. We do know what's going on. We don't have to watch Fox News or CNN or any of it. We can research on our own, just like you. You can find stuff. Trust me, I know, because I find a lot. It might take me a little while, but by God, I'll find it. The truth is there somewhere. Anyway. And then he says, you know, he's just talking about how all this threats and disorder, and people see it on their televisions every single day. And then he says, and these challenges get people worried, and it frays our civic trust, and it makes a lot of people feel like the fix is in and the game's rigged, and nobody's looking out for them, especially those communities outside our big urban centers. That's us. We live in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, especially the people. So it's like, he's like singling out, if you live in the country, or you're a farmer, or you don't live in a big urban city. I mean, if you don't live in a big city or whatever, and you live out in the country, and America's huge, big. We have a lot of land. We have a lot of farmland, everything, everywhere. So basically they're saying, New York and California, and if you look on an election map, seriously, and look on like the counties where the big cities are, they're blue, like they're Democrat, like Detroit, Michigan, Wayne County. That was blue, but Michigan went red. You know what I'm saying? So it's all of us out here. So what? Who do you think caused all this crap? Who do you think caused Americans to feel this way? Why do you think they voted for Donald Trump? We're out here. Hello? New York and California, you do not run this nation. Not now, not ever. Mob rule is never going to work. They better start paying attention to us people out here in the middle of nowhere. You know, with the cows and all that stuff. Yeah. It's about time they better start paying attention. And even though your generation, as he's still talking to these college kids, is the most diverse in history. They're the most diverse in history. But we're racist and we're divided. The Republicans are dividing everybody and we're racist and we don't want people to be diverse and have this biggest bunch of bullshit. So you see how upset I got? I was fuming last night. I mean, I have to really admit, I was really ticked off. Anyway, they say their generation is the most diverse in history, with greater acceptance and celebration of our differences than ever before. Are you freaking kidding me? Did I just not tell you that somebody just called me a racist? Really, I took a picture of it. It's on my wall. She did it again too. Called me some other names too. I haven't taken a picture of that yet, but yeah. Daily, they do that to me. Every single day. It is the truth because I engage. I'm not mean. I don't call people names. I just give them facts. I tell them like it is. They do not like it at all, period. And then I'm a racist and I'm a bigot and I'm cuss words, all of them down the line. Seriously, it is. I really don't care. They can say whatever they want. I do not give a crap because I know better. Anyway, there's a lot of people who can't take that. They don't realize what they're doing. It's really bad that they say that to people. Anyway, so we have, just a greater acceptance and celebration of our differences than ever before. Those are the kind of conditions that are ripe for exploitation by politicians who have no communication and no shame about tapping into America's dark history of racial and ethnic and religious division. He did say that. I want to smack him. He says, appealing to tribe, appealing to fear, pitting one group against another, telling people that order and security will be restored. If it weren't for those who don't like us, or don't sound like us, or don't pray like we do, that's the old handbook. You can't be like that anymore. It's as old as time, he said. It's his words. And in a healthy democracy, it doesn't work. You frickin' think? Do you really think that this is healthy? That these Democrats are being healthy? Calling everybody racist and all this kind of bullcrap, wanting America to be a socialist country and open our borders and don't give a crap about our military and want us to hate law enforcement and want to get rid of ICE, who's going to protect us from, illegal immigration. Oh no. Oh no, it's all our fault. They're not doing anything. They love everybody in the world. They love everybody and we're just hateful, evil people. We're evil. That biggest bunch of baloney garbage. Anyway, this is a good one. And as he's saying this, he says, and in a healthy democracy, it doesn't work. Our antibodies kick in. And people of goodwill from across the political spectrum call out the bigots and the fearmongers and work to compromise and get things done and promote better angels of our nature. He did say that. You are all Satan spawns, and they're angels with their halos on their head. You Maxine Water and Nancy Pelosi Putin, and I am Spartacus. Are they not loony as shit? I mean, seriously, these people are insane. He says, but when there's a vacuum in our democracy, when we don't vote, when we take our basic rights and freedoms for granted, when we turn away and stop paying attention and stop engaging and stop believing and look for the newest version, the electronic version of bread and circuses, okay, then other voices fill the void. A politics of fear and resentment and retrenchment takes hold, and demagogues promise simple fixes to complex problems. Woohoo! He's on a roll now, ain't he? Then he says, they promise to fight for the little guy, even as they cater to the wealthiest and the most powerful. They promise to clean up corruption and then plunder it away. They start undermining norms that ensure accountability, try to change the rules to entrench their power further. And they appeal to racial nationalism that's barely veiled, if veiled at all. What? No. Bullshit. Bullshit. Is this not freaking crazy? He said that. It sounds a lot different when I'm reading it to you, don't it? My God. He says, and then he says, sound familiar? Now understand, this is not just a matter of Democrats versus Republicans. Really. Or liberals versus conservatives. Mm-hmm. At the various times in our history, this kind of politics has infected both parties. Southern Democrats were the bigger defender of slavery. It took a Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, to end it. Dixiecrats filibustered anti-lynching legislation, opposed the idea of expanding civil rights, and although it was a Democratic president and a majority Democratic Congress, man, they have to take responsibility for everything. So he's telling you. That's spurred on by young marchers and protesters. That's what got the Civil Rights Act and the Voting Rights Act over the finish line, was the Democrats. Bullshit. What a load of freaking bullshit. Oh my God. Yeah, he said that. Anyway, those historic laws also got passed because of the leadership of Republicans like Illinois' own Everett Dirksen. Okay, he had to throw that in there because where is he? He's in Illinois, and he's at the University of Illinois, and, you know, there are Republicans there in Illinois sometimes, and, you know. He says, so neither party has a monopoly on wisdom. Neither party has been exclusively responsible for us going backwards instead of forwards. But I have to say this because sometimes we hear, oh, a plague on both your houses. Over the past few decades, it wasn't true when Jim Edgar was governor here in Illinois. And that wasn't true when Jim Thompson was governor in Illinois. I got a lot of good Republican friends here in Illinois. Oh, do you really? But over the past few decades, the politics of division, of resentment, and paranoia, yeah, he said that, has unfortunately found a home in the Republican Party. So we are divisive, resentful, and paranoid. Got that? We are divisive, resentful, and paranoid. That's our new names now. So now we're not only racists and bigots and Nazis and xenophobes. We're dividers and resenters and paranoia. Lulu. Fly. Anyway. Yeah, they're cuckoo crazy. All right, that's end of part 2. I still have more. I just, you know, think about it, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube. Go over there when you watch the movie. Please go to YouTube and subscribe. I'm trying to get 100 people at least. you know, I'm just doing this for me because I need to get it out, because if I didn't, it would drive me insane. And I'm glad you guys watch, and I'm glad you guys like it. And I'm glad you guys are supporting me and everything. And I want to get a custom URL. So if you can, go onto YouTube and just subscribe and like and share and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys soon. Talk to you later.